gender switch up, where in one cast the protagonist is male with a female love interest, and in the other cast it's reversed. So, so in one cast I play the love interest, and in the other cast I play the sort of cutthroat mentor. Yeah, it's two very different shows based on, you know, the idea that, you know, I mean, ideally you would actually want to see both, because part of the project is to see how that affects your perception of what the story is.
Yeah, it's, I mean, interesting that we always try to do in Cadmus Protocol, which is a whole other thing, in general, is each piece is kind of standalone. Like, you don't have to see the play twice. You can just go and see the play once and that's fine. But
don't tell people that. You're here to promote.
Well, hold on. Well, I don't want them to say if I can't see it twice, I don't see it.
Fair, okay.
So it is a standalone piece. You just watch an epic story unfold. But if you actually want to get into this question of like, okay, well, how does my own perception of gender affect this play? You can see it twice and then analyze and say like, okay, what does it mean when it's, you know, the more normal formula of a male protagonist with a female love interest? What happens when you switch it around?
More traditional formula, perhaps.
Oh.
Not necessarily.
Okay, that's it. That's the moment I was waiting for. You guys just start fighting.
Like what you've done!
It's just another night out drinking with Mike and Annie, folks. So you mentioned, not to like get, it's a complicated show,
yeah.
But there's other layers of complication because this fits into a bigger picture. I think the Doppler effect has. So if you could maybe take us to that level for a minute or two.
So this is all part of what's called the Cadmus Protocol. So the Cadmus Protocol is an online sci-fi universe that everybody is encouraged to help build. So what I would describe is this world that the Tribe of One takes place in. It would kind of be like, the Cadmus Protocol is a transmedia project. So what that means is if you take something like Star Wars, so we know George Lucas made these Star Wars movies, but there's also like all kinds of things like the Clone Wars things, or there's like comic books that get made. There's other mediums that tell the story of the world of Star Wars. There's also tons of fan fiction. So that whole overlying thing is like a transmedia project. What this would be like would be if George Lucas made Star Wars and then said, okay, anybody write anything they want, and it's just as important as Star Wars is. And then also when he made Empire Strikes Back, he said, okay, well, you wrote a short story, I like that character, maybe they appear in the world. So it's kind of this weird proliferating idea that anything that gets created in the world is valid. And any artist can make a contribution. It's not just writing either. It can be like musicians have written songs. We've got visual artists doing drawings and whatnot. You've got Matt Peach did a bunch of fashion, like did fashion in the future world.
We have a chef that wants to create a futuristic menu that's
for the
taking place in this universe.
Yeah.
So it's really wide. Like it's very wide in terms of what can happen in it. And yeah, the whole idea is that we're all building a future world together. So it's open source. It's open to anyone. If you want to check out the website as it is right now, it's cadmusprotocol.com. And it's basically featuring everything that's so far been written, short stories. There's a couple of comic books that are on there. So far, it's mostly local work, but we have people creating stuff for it from.
Yeah, the weird thing about it is because it's online, it's global, potentially, and it's unlike anything I think that's ever been done. It's not that transmedia has never been done, but I've never, like everybody I talk to, it's kind of like I've never seen anything that's sort of, it's largely us giving away a lot of control to say like we're going to democratically decide, because if the universe, if everybody's writing these, if Kevin and I write something, if I'm not in charge of the universe, well, let's suppose I write about the secret police, and then Kevin writes about the secret police because he doesn't like my vision, he wants his own story, and then Annie comes along and says, well, I need the secret police in my story. I don't like your version, I like your version, I'm going to use your version. Or she creates her own. So it's this kind of like, it's an artistic, democratic meme that we're creating.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
So it's a super big vision.
It is crazy. Like,
And I'll say, like, because I've been, as I said, I've been involved in your theater company a little bit as a behind-the-scenes person. And when I first heard you describe it, it was like, okay, that's a nice idea, guys. That's never gonna, like, but it really is, like, to see it actually happening now around this Cannabis Protocol website and a play and then the other stuff that's going on. It's really fascinating. We can probably talk about it all night, but we won't.
Yes.
So I just wanted to ask, first of all, what's next for Doppler Effect after the Fringe is over?
so our year is blocked up.
It's a pretty crazy year for us. What's immediately next, like immediately as in it happens the day after the Fringe closes, is I go off to Harsborough, Nova Scotia. Ship's Company Theatre is co-producing Alien, which is my one-woman show that I actually did for the first time in last year's Fringe.
Absolutely, I remember that.
And thank you for that. It's a show. It's a completely autobiographical show about my experience of being an immigrant twice, immigrating as a 9-year-old child and then immigrating as a 19-year-old adult to Halifax, Nova Scotia. But really, it's about just the experience of being out of place and different and trying to fit in.
And then
I was just going to say it's a great show, and I like anything that I see it start in the Fringe Festival and then take on a life and go somewhere else. That's like tells me that we're doing good stuff with the festival, so I like that too.
And then at the end of the month, end of September, still in September, we're doing Ibsen Bites, which Lunacy is doing a project where we're part of there's this historical house in Halifax where they're doing different installations of Ibsen pieces, and we're involved in that.
Yeah.
And then we take a little break because I'm doing Sex and Violence, and then Contribution, which is kind of the play that birthed the Cannabis Protocol, is happening in December, and that's actually a big flagship crazy project that we've been chipping away at for years and years and years to make happen.
So we will. There's so much we could be talking about what's up for
it's-
Doppler Effect. As we wrap up, are there any other Fringe shows that are on your radar screen? I know you're playing just about every night, but what else is on your radar screen or that you'd like to give a shout out to?
So I'll do ones I've seen more than you have right now.
I haven't seen very many, but
So-
there's a lot I'm excited about.
Okay, so I'll do the ones we've seen first. I saw Drew O'Hara's show. The Failure show was really fun. It's really, really good.
That's at the Museum of Natural History.
Museum of Natural History. The Loki. We saw Loki's show today. I really liked it.
Yeah,
Loki's
that was
Picture.
really-
Yeah,
Okay.
it's totally fun.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I've seen so far that I've.
And what else are you looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to Ida and Daisy, which
Ida
I
and Daisy
think
just debuted tonight.
open tonight,
Yeah.
and we're seeing it, I believe, tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's a show that I love everybody involved in it. It's a great story, and I read an early draft of the script, and I can't wait to see how it's developed.
Katie Doran's show, Dream. How
How often do I dream? Yeah.
That's really,
It's also
really
getting
exciting.
terrific reviews.
Tripping with Jackie
Jackie
Torrance,
Torrance,
who's
Mary
amazing.
Chisholm.
Whale Riding
Girl, amazing.
Everyone should see Whale Riding Weather. It's amazing. I've already seen it, and I do want to see it again. But it's like all three
It's a
performances are
fantastic
incredible,
show.
and Hugh Thompson's performance is absolutely mind-boggling.
Also an award-winning performance from the previous
He
iteration.
took that.
Yep.
It was my best
Oh,
chance of winning a merit, and he won it.
Okay, I can only give you one more. Like
One
really
more.
Okay.
Country song. Leanne Poole at the Company House every night, which is just across the street. She is fantastic and a really charming performer. It's a lovely show.
Okay. Well, thank you very much,
Thank you.
and thank you for all of the shout outs. Okay, and last up, I'm super excited to talk to this show. This is, of the list of shows, this is the one that I actually have seen, and it is so terrific. I can't wait to have up Andrew Bailey from The Adversary. Okay, so I did see your show, and I'm tempted to tell the audience about it, but that's not the right way to do an interview, so I will ask you to tell us a little bit about The Adversary.
So The Adversary, it's mostly a true story, and this is true. I was stalked at my work by a psychopathic drug dealer. Police said that is the worst person we deal with. Call us immediately if you see him. I do. No one shows up. hilarity ensues from there.
I will say, like, it's a very serious premise, particularly how you just described it, but it's a very funny show in addition to being serious and touching.
Yeah, like I'm a comedian, and nebbish is the term the Jews would use for what I am as a person, and then I'm a sort of a bit of a fish out of water in the it's sort of like it's like the world of The Wire, but then with me. And so there it is like I bill it as a drama that you guys made me choose, but normally I'd say it's like 40% comedy, 60% drama, but it is both. I think life is both things. It's not just funny and it's not just serious. It's all and they're at the same time, and so I try to represent life.
Yeah.
Usually.
I was saying to you earlier too, I do some I volunteer with a church that works with homeless people a lot, and it's one of the things that I really appreciated about the show is there are a lot of characters that you talk about who are street involved or are homeless, but it's so easy just to reduce people to the hard facts of their lives and make them one-dimensional, and none of the people who appear in your show are one-dimensional. They're all very multifaceted.
I have over a decade's experience with working with, like I did that job for 10 years. My current job, like when I'm not doing this, is I'm a mental health support worker, so I would say I know that. I would know, I mean, as much as one can, and although I know, and also I'm mentally ill, so yeah, I do know that world fairly well. So